Welcome to everyone. I am so happy that you're here hanging out with me. My name is Julie, and welcome to Candid Canvas. This is a podcast that is all about creativity and how it applies to our lives, how it affects our psychology and our mental health, our overall well being, and really where we can improve on our creative lives, how to do that, and just really getting into the nitty gritty of what creativity looks like for everyone, from artists and designers to woodworkers, chefs, and so much more. I am really excited about diving into everything with you guys. So let's get going. This is the first of hopefully many podcasts, and this is my first time doing a podcast from hosting or producing. It is really a new challenge that I have given myself. So please be gentle with me about the audio quality, visual quality, all that. I'm still learning, and I am definitely excited to see where things can go from here. But I really wanted to get over a little bit of my perfectionism and just get the first episode out, and it can only go up from here. So if you hear some cars in the background or the cicadas outside, that is just because there are cicadas outside, and I live near a very busy road, and I'm still working on improving some of my studio setup. So my studio is very much a mess right now. I have so many projects going on, from getting market stuff together to trying to work on some paintings and some sculpting projects. So really everything is out and in the way, and I have to continually move things around to get to what I need. But it's so exciting and it keeps me busy. So a little bit about me. I am a visual artist. My name is Julie of Julianette Studios, where I create so many things. I paint, I illustrate, I do a little bit of design work. I love making things out of clay and really just finding any new way to explore my creativity is what it's all about for me. So, this is another outlet that I'm excited to get creative with, get into the nitty gritty, and see how I can put my own spin on things. I love discussing art and creating things with people, and hopefully down the line I'm hoping to have some guests on this podcast to discuss what that looks like for them, what their creative process is, how they like to ideate, and what methods they use to get themselves out of maybe a mental block or a creative block, what tools like they keep in their creative toolkit. And I would love to really investigate what creativity can look like across various mediums, from other visual artists like myself to people who are more focused on like graphic or brand design, or people who are more into functional design, so like woodworking, ceramicists, and even musicians and chefs and writers. So I would love to be able to do that in the future, and that's part of what really excites me about Candid Canvas, is opening up that space for creatives to come together and find their common ground, and also what is maybe different from medium to medium, because I have been reading a lot of like actor and director autobiographies, which are two mediums that I don't really participate much in myself, but it's so interesting to read about their processes and really get into their minds of how they approach their work and how they've overcome hurdles in their own practice, and how I can take some of those lessons and apply them to my own work has been really cool and inspiring. And so I want to kind of take that and expand on that. So I'm so excited that you are here with me, and I am so excited to see where this can go. I know I've said that a lot. I just am very excited and also a little nervous. And I would love to hear back from you guys about what would really interest you to hear about the creative process, about what mediums maybe you'd like to hear about, or what kinds of guests you'd like to have on. I'm definitely not ready for guests yet. I still have to buy another mic and really see if the first few episodes are successful, then I can create a space that's a little more inviting to guests than just my own personal studio at the moment. So I'd love to do that in the future, but it might still be a little bit depending on how the podcast goes to get to that point. But I'd still love feedback from you guys, the listeners, to know what interests you and what avenues other than the ones I already have quite a few ideas knocking around in my head of some different topics that I'd love to cover. But I'm always open to ideas. I can't promise that I can get to everyone, but I would love to hear what you guys would love to hear about. Some of the ideas for future episodes, I don't want to give them all away, but I'd love to explore, as previously mentioned, some like creative toolkits and what various people kind of keep in their toolkit to continually inspire themselves. I would also love to get into a little bit of art history, not a lot, but just some of the things that I know I didn't learn about when I was in school, learning art history, and maybe investigate some of those things a little closer and take a ride through the ages. I would love to discuss some more practical applications of creativity, how it applies to business and our work days, and about how valuable an asset it is to be able to think creatively and outside the box. I would also love to cover at some point the psychology of creativity and where it comes from. I'm reading a really interesting book right now about that. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I'm definitely going to reference it in some future episodes. And it is all about a study that was done on well-known creatives and scientists and people in the research industry about how creativity really impacted their lives and the psychology behind what really makes creative minds tick. So that I'm still just started on, but I'm very excited to see where that goes. I've already underlined so many things and added a lot to my notes about that book. A little bit more about me. My name is Julie Siegrist. I am your beautiful host, beautiful and humble host. I went to school for art. I got my bachelor's in art, and I've always loved drawing and creating and finding new ways to express myself. I personally really love creating works of art that are inspiring or spark joy, because it's such a joy for me to create that work. It is what I want that to elicit in other people, usually. So I love creating very ethereal works and love drawing animals and flowers and love using nature a lot in most of the things that I create. This is going to be a very short episode just because I want it to be an introduction and really lay the groundwork for the kind of podcast I want this to be. I just want to get it out there and have it posted and not worry about it being totally perfect, because I don't have a producer or an editor or a lot of money to throw into this right away to acquire those things. So it's really a bare bones production. So hopefully I will be able to devote more time to this in the future, and I really want to get a good foundation set going forward, but I'm not going to hold myself to ridiculously high standards yet. We'll get there. So thank you so much for joining me. Once again, my name is Julie Siegrist, and you've been listening to Candid Canvas. You can find me over on Instagram at Candid Canvas. You also can follow the link through my Instagram to find my Julianette Studios Patreon page, which has a tier specifically for Candid Canvas listeners. I call it the Candid Canvas crew. It's only $3 a month, just a little something to show your support and help me keep this podcast going. So it would be so lovely if you were to find me over on Patreon and give me a follow. I will see you guys next time.